remind me what needs fixing, Julie. Well, I've had quite a few back problems, but the most pressing one at the moment is that I fell over in February in the snow, and I have got a lot of pain or discomfort in my coccyx, where the coccyx joins the sacrum.
Right.
I have problems with my sacroiliac joints playing up, and I also had a disc injury about here. So the whole kind of back thing has been going on for a number of years as well.
Right. Okay, so you come and stand here for me.
Dr. Oswaldo Cruz again. Yeah. All right, the first word that Dr. Oswaldo Cruz is saying is balance. Balance. We all need more balance, don't we? How do we get more balance? The only way for us to get more balance is to be here now more of the time. Yet not in your head. You come off balance when you're in your mind racing to get somewhere. And where is it do you think you're all racing to? Seriously, where is it you think you're racing to get to? It's funny that we call it the human race. Isn't it? Yeah? It's not a race. It's not a race. It's not a race. So let's look at what is required to be here now. So you've been conditioned through this lifetime not to notice this moment. Yeah, you've been conditioned to be in the future. You know, when you go to preschool, when you go to school, when you go to university, when you go get a job, when you get married, all this conditioning is into future. But the only bit that is worth experiencing is this moment. It's the only bit that's real. It's always now and you're always here. What you think of as the past is a previous now that you recall or not in this moment. And what you think of as the future is a mind projection of what may or may not happen. The only bit that's real is this moment. All any of you need do for the rest of your time here is be here now. Why is it so goddamn hard? Why is it so goddamn hard to be here now? But when you start practicing being here now, guess what? You start eating the right food. You start taking exercise. You start going to bed when you are tired. You start eating when you're hungry, drinking when you're thirsty, and eating better foods. Because you're more aware and you're more conscious. The stuff that you put into your bodies, the rubbish food, you're not aware. You're talking to somebody, you're on the phone, you're racing around the office, you're watching TV, and you're putting into here stuff that doesn't have nutritional value. Yeah? But when you bring consciousness in to your eating transforms. It's telling me you will never regret having a workout. You do regret overeating, don't you? Yeah? So the name of the game is being here more of the time. It's not about how educated we are, it's not about who we were born to. Any of us at any point in time can become more enlightened than everybody else. And why is this significant? When you become enlightened, you literally light up. The cells of your body have more light. There's devices now that you can get to measure the light in your body. A friend of mine, a lady called Delma Hayder, has one in New Zealand. And when I first met Delma, she was using this machine to promote a product, a juice. And over a period of time, people would have their light reading done of their skin. You put your hand on the skin, it would measure your light meter. And then 6 months later, after you've taken the juice for 6 months, you'll get a different reading. Yeah? So the more light there is in the cells, the younger we are. Yeah? The opposite to that is a process called glycation. It's when sugars blend with proteins and the skin starts getting wrinkles. Yeah? That's the opposite of that. When I met her, I just knew instinctively that if I was to use that device with that purple rice, within 20 minutes of somebody taking a teaspoon, there'd be a difference in the reading. There was. For some people, it was a 20-year difference in just 20 minutes. That's staggering, eh? The product is anti-glycation. So what happens in the body is sugars combine with glucoses and it ages you. When the product is anti-glycation, it splits the sugars from the proteins. Right, and so what's happened for you through this lifetime is you've made a rod for your own back. in terms of your standards of, you know, of everything, yeah? When do you really let yourself relax? You don't really? No. Right, and this body needs to relax, the body needs to relax. And so she's literally made a rod for her own back, okay? She's pushed herself hard. When you push yourself hard, that's what happens. Rather than allowing yourself to be. So why would somebody push themselves? It's again, they think they're striving to get somewhere. I really want you to think about this, guys. Where is it do you think you are striving to get to when the only thing that is real is this moment? Yeah? Lots of people I meet are spiritual seekers. I don't meet many spiritual finders. Be a spiritual finder, not a spiritual seeker. Spiritual seekers are always looking for the next workshop, the next insight, the next book, the next whatever, reading. Be here now. This is the doorway through to enlightenment. Pain in your body, pain is the teacher of last resort. What I mean by that is, when you're not getting your spiritual messages any other way, we will give you pain. Or rather, your body will give you pain. Because pain brings you into presence. Some people on their deathbed glimpse enlightenment, yeah, because they're in pain, and pain brings you into presence. There are other ways. Pleasure can bring you into presence, yeah. Chocolate can bring you into presence. Alcohol can bring you into presence, but apparently not for very long. Yeah, then you seem to lose consciousness. The smell of alcohol can bring you into presence. He wants you to think this lifetime, what is it about? What is this? You know, you've got some time here. We've all got some time here. You've got these bodies. Some of you look after these bodies better than others. But you've got some time here, so what do you want to do with your time here? Seriously, what is the name of the game? What do you want to do? I'm going to share with you, I'm going to answer the question to him, because my intention is to keep staying aware, to keep staying present, to connect with other like-minded people. If I connect with like-minded people, like if I do an event like this, I've got to be conscious from the moment I walk in to the moment it ends. Yeah? And as we go through the evening, hopefully we bring you into consciousness, and group energy is profound. For spiritual growth, get yourself a group, form your own group. Find a group can be 2 people. Find people like you that are on the same wavelength, and start talking about what's really important rather than that rubbish that's on your TV screens. Turn your televisions off. Yeah, news. Don't bother with it. Newspapers, turn it. It will be the best decision you've ever made. Seriously. Because they're just churning you up, making you judge things, and churning you up, and you can't do anything about it. You don't need that. If you want to be at peace, change things. Find 4 or 5 people that are like you that you can start spending more time with. Do not expect your family to think like you do. No, you're going to find friends. You're going to find friends out there that think more along your lines. Okay. Listen to your body. If you practice presence, you would have perfect health, because as soon as there was a discord in your energy field, you would sense it and you'd do something about it. Most people are so busy with their lives, they get a bit of an ache, a bit of a niggle, they ignore it, it comes back the next day, they ignore it, and then over a period of time, they then get a full-blown condition. I've never known him do a slow clap, it's always slap, slap, slap. So what's going on here? I don't know. He brought me into presence with that one, because it's like, no, that's not what he normally does. So what's happening for you at the moment? What's the sensation?
I felt quite a few sort of little wriggles, a few little cracks.
Yep.
I'm not sure that I feel entirely kind of free, but I haven't moved around, so...
No, we're still working on you, we're still working on you. Okay, so the key thing for you is, historically, she's made a rod for her own back. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that. So when we make a rod for our own back, we're saying that our level of performance will be here consistently. And I'll just stand in front of you, so you'll just stand on me. We're saying I'm going to perform at this level. I'm always going to do my best. That was one of mine. I've only got rid of that in the last 12 months. No, I'm not always going to do my best, actually. There's going to be times where I don't do my best. If you try and do your best at everything all of the time, that's struggle and that's stress and that's strain. Far better to be you. No struggle there. So how about instead of doing your best, you are you? Can you see the difference? It's a lot more aligned, isn't it? How would that feel for you? Instead of always trying to do your best, you're just going to be you. Yeah? And if being you, you feel like, no, not today, thank you, I'm tired. That's okay. Have you ever said that to anybody? No. No. She said, the bars on
I'm a
here.
perfectionist.
We know.
Hard to knock that out of you.
Yeah. But we can only be us. We can only be us, and we are none of us perfect. That's one of the things. It's really, really important you grasp this. We're not here to be perfect. That's not the game of the game. We're here to be conscious, aware, to learn and to grow. All right? And there's lots of lessons. And we are going to make mistakes, but there's no real mistakes because it's all learning. Yeah? Right, walk around a bit, see how that feels.
How about keeping on time?
Feels good.
Feels good. Awesome. Cool.
Give her a round of applause.